Hello, Warriors. Welcome to Whip Around Wednesday. I'm going to talk currencies, but we may as well address the elephant in the room, and it is this candle. That's a 4-hour chart. As you can see, the S&P is at 5,100. You know what? When we were going home on Friday, I expected new all-time highs. I wasn't looking for this, and I had low confidence about my SQQQ position. Now it's looking better. I mean, if I look at SQQ, and I talked about it with Mike yesterday on the stream, and it kept on running. You look at a daily, and there's two cases. And remember, I talked about the bull case and the bear case. So the bull case is we put in a higher low. This is a derivative of the Nasdaq 100. It's 3 times. So it's one of those super bearish ones. And, even with the erosion that these types of instruments have, it pretty much held 78.6 back before turning back up, and getting through 850 was important. I wouldn't want to see it back under 850. But the bull case is that this was the first wave, and this was a pullback wave to 78, and we're ready for a C or a 3 to have equality to this, or even a fib extension of this that would take it above breakout levels at 1076. So it's not like we haven't been at 1076. So the bear case is that this is just a little aberration here, and we're just going to correct this recent decline, which means correct the recent rally in NASDAQ before we head to new lows. And, that can't be out of the picture either, because if you know my work, there really wasn't divergence, maybe a little bit between here and here, but look, the momentum was 23 reading. Usually you don't get major bottoms off of that, but these markets are so unusual right now. And Charlie Bello on a tweet talked about that the U.S. households have never been more long stocks in history than they are now. And I do, I think about it in terms of if we did get some type of breakdown, and it would be a surprise to many because most are looking for new all-time highs, and this is just a pullback. But if we get something serious, I don't think that would bother the Trump campaign. I think that we believe that our votes are going to elect the next president of the United States, but I believe it's the direction of the market going into the election. And a big bear move, I believe, would work to the advantage of former President Trump. New all-time highs in the status quo. People are happy right now looking at their 401ks. I actually heard someone say they're elated. So they wouldn't want to see, 10, 20, 30% decline in their 401ks in a few months. So that's going to really be an important factor going into the election. Look, people vote their pocketbooks, and they look at their IRAs now. When they're in a bear market, they won't open the envelope because they don't want to know. But when they're in a bull market, they're doing cartwheels in the living room. So let's talk about the dollar. I talked about last week, called the low at par and a half. My range was 101.5 to par and a half. That's where it bottomed. We've had a nice little pop. I said, be a seller around 102, 102.5. I still think that could come into play. I think the best chance for that to come into play, I didn't sell it, even though, it could have been, close enough to 102, right? But I think what may happen Friday, with the NFP is coming in here Friday, is that if it's a decent jobs number and the market begins to give up hope on a 50% cut, a half a point cut, 50 basis point cut, and we move back to pricing in only a quarter, that the market won't like it, and the dollar may have another rally on news like that I'm looking to sell into. So, I think there's going to be a lot of action. It's the most important number of the week. We'll see. Sometimes you get an A, B, C zones that I'm looking at. And, if we keep going from here, that's why you hold your core position. You're still there and you use rallies for add-ons. So here's Euro. I really like the confluence down here around halfway back. WD Gann said that in bull markets, you buy 50% pullback. So I have confluence here with some moving averages and this trend line and fibs at 109.89. I've done some research, and people that are better at Elliott wave than me are saying this is a wave four. So either way, wave fours imply there's one more wave to the upside before it completes. So be looking for buying opportunities here after the NFP, unless it just goes without me, and then my dollar positions, bearish dollar positions, keep working, and I missed a reaction to add on. With the pound, I'm thinking here around 100 lower. So that's where I'm looking for buys there. Aussie came off pretty good, but it's putting in a pretty good day. So maybe my call to buy it at 6.5 or so is a little ambitious. I actually talked to someone that people in Asia are buying the Aussie as a safe haven currency, the Asians, because of what's been going on in the markets. Instead of going to the dollar, they're buying Aussies. So it's pretty interesting because Aussie traditionally doesn't perform well in risk-off markets. The yen, we have this little symmetrical triangle. You would think that we're probably just going to go with the trend. I was looking for a recovery back here. I know what to do with it if it rallies back to here. You could probably trade the formation here. If we start getting back above 147, we could make that move. But we start breaking down here under, call it 44.20, another 60 lower, then we should see new lows. And the RSI is saying we should see new lows because this was a confirmed low. There's no divergence here. Maybe there'll be some divergence at new lows. So that's a weak dollar scenario. We're looking at gold that, cannot really give up the ghost. It's in this box right here. I'll draw it out for you guys. Yeah, pretty much this. This is the range, pretty much this straight line. It's kind of a rectangle. So it held it again yesterday. So back under this 2472 level should give us, 2430, 2400. We'll see. But this is your major support level. And the gold down a little bit today, but when I look at some of the miners, tough to want to buy GDX, cutting through all these trend lines, moving averages, and we'll see what happens, especially if there's another shoe to drop in equities. See that? So it was a classic 3 drive. Maybe we're going to get a nice pullback towards 33 again. It doesn't look that great. The silver juniors, maybe if it holds here, and silver's trying to hold. So S&Ps are bouncing back. I don't know if we just had some data, but I would look to buy these in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to give the market a chance to have more than this decline, a one-day decline in it. I think there's more left, even if they try and turn it here today. So coming in this week, I thought that new highs in the S&Ps would be a layup, and now it's looking like it's at least a three-pointer from way outside the arc. So we'll see. Still bearish a dollar. Big takeaway is if we get a decent employment number and the market only prices in a quarter point cut, we should get one more push up in the dollar to sell up around this trend line at 2.5. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple days. I'll be back with Mike tomorrow. Again, I also want to point out, I talked about this with Mike yesterday, the nat gas was one of the few. Nat gas and wheat were the two strongest markets during the decline yesterday. Gold fought its way back pretty good too, but nat gas this is a daily, on yesterday's liquidation day across the board, red ink everywhere, closed okay. And then I'll just give you a quick update on the grains. The wheat has really been working pretty well. We're up again today. I talked about it down here on a 3 drive. So leave it alone. There's resistance here. You have a good position. You could take some partials. Corn looks good too. And beans look good too. So I think the grains have bottomed. You're not late. Let me just show you while you're not late. This is embryonic, and it's been the Baton Death March for farmers and traders trying to bottom pick the grains. But here you go, even a bear market rally in beans would be a nice trade. A bear market rally in wheat would be a nice trade. Bear market rally in corn would be a nice trade. So here you go. And they all had the classic divergence signs, 3 drive signs, etc. So go build your silos and stock it with wheat, and you could be just like Joseph was in biblical times. And when your neighbors and your family, they're hungry, in your storehouse, you'll be able to help people. That's a wrap, everyone. It's going to be an interesting Friday. I'll be back here with Mike, and we have a new crypto trader that's going to be joining us tomorrow. And in the meantime, good hunting, good luck, and don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios.